So what Hamas has been saying, Paul, is that it is willing to free 10 living Israeli hostages and half of the hostage bodies, but the terms and the time frame, that is the main difference between their response and the original plan set up by Steve Witkoff. According to the Witkoff plan, all of the living hostages will be released by day 7 of the ceasefire, meaning the first 5 will be released on day 1, and by day 7 another 5 will be released, meaning a week into the ceasefire all of the 10 living hostages will be back in Israel. Hamas has said different terms. They said they're willing to release 4 living hostages on day 1, then on day 30 2 more hostages, and on day 60 4 more hostages. The rationale behind the Hamas amendments is that it wants to make sure that Israel adheres to the 60-day ceasefire. How do you do that? You hold more living hostages in your hand, and you only release them, the final 4, once the 60-day term is over. And by this, Hamas says we can assure that Israel will leave to the 60-day ceasefire, because Israel will have an interest in doing so. Only then will Hamas release all of the living hostages. Israel calls this completely unacceptable. As you mentioned, the Prime Minister's office is saying that the Hamas response is nothing less than a refusal of the terms. According to the Israeli Prime Minister's office, the Witkoff plan does not only set the number of living hostages released, but also the terms, the time frame in which they are released. And by what Hamas is saying, this according to Israel, they're completely refusing to the accord to the proposed deal. Israel is backed on this by the United States, as you also mentioned. Steve Witkoff calling the Hamas response unacceptable. And as far as other responses from Israel, it is quite what we can quite expect. The leaders of the far right, Itamar Ben-Gvir and Bezalel Smotrich, saying that Hamas has shown its real face. It is Hamas that is derailing time and time again any negotiations. And according to the both of them, Smotrich and Ben-Gvir, there's no point in beginning negotiations with Hamas anyways. The only option is through force, and therefore this is the direction that Israel should head to.